Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to your weekly reading. This is for the week of April 9th through 15th here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. All right. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so let's just get right into it. Got a Queen of Cups here. So it feels to me like there is some kind of a feeling, an intuition perhaps, some kind of an emotion, or just maybe like a gut feeling, like an instinct, that you are receiving, that you are feeling, but you're trying to not acknowledge it. You know what I mean? I think there's a disconnect between your kind of your head and your heart, so to speak. You have this gut feeling about something, but it's almost like you don't want to believe it. Okay. But let's put that into some context. First, though, let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. And we are going to set this aside. Excuse me. We're going to put that right over there. We're not going to look at it until the very end of the reading. Okay. So now let's put this Queen of Cups into some context, because I really feel like there's something that you're kind of veiling either from yourself or from other people around you. And it seems like it's some kind of a feeling, an instinct, one of those gut feelings, maybe an intuitional kind of understanding. Is that a word, intuitional? I don't know. But let's see what's going on here. Next card. Knight of Pentacles. I think there's an older person in your life, maybe an earth sign. The earth element here with this Knight of Pentacles could indicate that this is somebody in the workplace. But I feel like this is somebody who's a little bit closer to you. If it is a work thing, it's someone that you have a personal connection with. Okay, I feel that there is a personal connection beyond just being coworkers. Okay, so this might be somebody in your private life. But I really feel like you are almost trying to bite your tongue about something. There's something that you feel, that you believe, that's maybe this feeling is starting to become more intense, but you're trying to just ignore it. You're trying to let it go. You're trying to not even really acknowledge it. Okay, so I think it is something quite serious. Let's see what that card was. Another court card. Another court card. A Prince of Swords. Now, is this another... yet another character involved in this situation? Is perhaps an air sign person? I don't think so. What I'm feeling with the Prince of Swords here is that this is double air, right? This is air on air. This is you trying to push down this impulse to express yourself about this situation, because once you kind of open up that door, there's no going back. Right? Once the floodgates are open, everybody better look out. Okay? So I feel like you're trying to keep this double air, right? This kind of intensity of your communication. This, it's almost like once you start talking about this, once that can of worms is opened, you're not really able to hold back, And I think that you know that about yourself, and you're trying to restrain that a little bit. Okay. You don't want to get started. You don't want to broach the subject. You don't want to bring it up. You don't want to start that conversation, because once you do, you know how it's going to escalate, right? You know exactly how it's going to go. You know that you have perhaps this tendency to be like this double air, right? To be a little bit forceful with your opinions, or with your expressing your emotions. You may have a tendency to, how can I put this delicately? You may have a little bit too much force and power behind it, You may really not be able to hold your tongue, and you may end up saying things that you later on will wish you hadn't, So I think that's why we have the double air, the Prince of Swords down here beneath everything. Because I feel like that is your impulse to just kind of let loose on this person. And I think it's an earth sign person. I don't know that it's a work thing. But I feel with this earth sign person, I feel like they just aren't realizing something. there's something going on in your situation with them. They're not really aware. It's almost like they're a little bit dense, you know? It's something that you're kind of hoping that they will just see it for themselves, but they're just kind of oblivious to it, right? And I think that's leading to even more frustration for you. The fact that, you feel a reasonable person would see this, would be aware of this, either their behavior or some facts about the situation that you're in with them. But this person is just kind of skipping along like nothing's happening. And they're just kind of oblivious, kind of ignorant to the whole situation. Let's find out what the situation may be related to. Another court card. Oh, Lord. A Prince of Wands. Okay. A Prince of Wands. This could be a prior argument. Sure. It could be a situation in the past that was kind of what we were talking about with this heir, this double heir, the Prince of Swords. You're trying to hold back this impulse to just kind of let loose, right? Just to basically go off on this person. I think that there was a situation like this in the relatively recent past, maybe a few months, where the exact same thing happened, right? You tried to bite your tongue. You tried to hold on to these feelings for a long time. Eventually, they just kind of exploded out in a way that was a little bit more intense than it could have been, I wonder if this is also a fire sign person that may be involved in this situation. It could be yet another person here that is, that's active in this situation or is contributing to whatever it is that's going on. Now, I feel like this is a younger person. I feel like it may be a fire sign. It could be a situation where this person is involved in your lives, you two, these two, in a way where you're able to see the truth of things, but this earth sign person is just kind of oblivious. Maybe this person's taking advantage. Maybe this person is imposing on the two of you in your home, or imposing on this person in particular, right? This earth sign person. And you're kind of standing back like saying, this is obvious. This Prince of Wands is up to no good. They're taking advantage. They're manipulating. They're imposing on this earth sign person. And the earth sign person just seems unaware. Okay. And I think it's a situation where you want to step in and you want to just kind of take that person and shake them and say, why can't you see what's going on here? But at the same time, you're trying to kind of mind your own business, right? So it's a fine line, I think, between, do we get involved or do we allow the situation to just play out and just be there, like, to support the person in the aftermath? I don't know. Up above everything, we see a Seven of Pentacles. I think the Seven of Pentacles, now if you if you look at this card, it looks rather fruitless, right? And it's up above everything. It's at the top of the path of the dove. I feel like or you have a suspicion at least, that even if you were to get involved, this person is not going to change their perception. Your person, this earth sign person, could be a close friend, family member. It could be a spouse or a romantic partner. I'm not too sure yet, honestly. But this person, you feel as if, excuse me, even if you were to get involved, it's not going to change the course of events. It's not going to change this person's mind. They, if anything, are just going to get angry with you. So you feel like your efforts are just wasted. You feel like getting involved is going to cause more harm than good, right? The Seven is a lot of work, a lot of turmoil, a lot of toil, and no good rewards at the end of it, right? No progress, no success at all, but a lot of work. And I feel like that's your perception, your anticipation of what would happen. If you were to get involved, you feel like you would make things worse. Nothing good would come from you voicing your opinion. So this Prince of Swords is pushed down further, right, into the background there. And I'm sorry for my voice, my throat. I'm still getting over this COVID virus. It's completely messing with my chest, with my throat. It's awful, and I apologize. But let's see, what's the way forward here? What is the likely course of events? What is maybe the best course of events for you? What are the cards saying is the way to move forward in this situation? 3 of discs. The 3 of discs is kind of saying, yeah, just mind your own business. Just be there to support your person through this, whatever may come of it. But focus on your own work, right? Be an example in your life as much as you can and try to always do the right thing. Maybe getting involved in this situation is not the best course of action. Okay. The 3 of Pentacles is kind of a card that says, you kind of need to withdraw a little bit and focus on your own priorities, your own activities, your own responsibilities, right? And I think it's also kind of about tough love in the sense that you have to sometimes let people try and fail. You can't always save somebody at the last moment, okay? And like I said, maybe this has happened before, and you've had this conversation, you've had this discussion, this person insists on doing what they're doing, and they insist on making their own mistakes. So this time around, it seems, why get involved? Because it is true. You know how it's going to go, right? You know what the end results will be. So this could be one of those tough love situations, like I said, where you just allow the other person to stumble and fail and learn from that mistake rather than you trying to save them and pull them back at the last moment. Does that make sense? I know that it's kind of counterintuitive. If we see somebody making a mistake, I think our instinct, which in your case too, your instinct is to save them, to help them, to prevent them from making that mistake or what you perceive as a mistake. And I think that's key. Because it doesn't feel like if it is an earth sign person, doesn't feel like they really view it as a mistake or as a potential stumble. So, indeed, it seems that you would be doing more harm than good by getting involved, especially if this is going to be a repeat of something that you've already tried to step in and voice your opinion over, right? Your general energy is an Ace of Cups. I do feel like this is a very close person to you. All of this is done with love. Okay, it's not that you have any kind of ill will toward anyone involved. It's not that you're trying to control anybody or tell people what to do. You really care about this person. And I don't feel like it's a romantic love. I feel like this is like your best friend. It may be a sibling, family member. It could be a coworker that you're very close with. But it feels to you, I think, that they're about to make a mistake. And you're trying really hard to kind of walk that line between getting involved and holding back and letting them stumble. Okay? And that's because you really care about them. That's because you really want to see them happy. You want to see them succeed. You want to see them, get everything they want in life. So it troubles you, I feel. It really does affect your heart to see somebody about to walk into this mistake, this trap, this disaster, whatever it is, which I think involves their relationship with a third party, okay? Somebody else in the workplace, perhaps, another family member. It could be someone that they're dating, someone that they're getting involved with. I don't know. But I feel like it pains you to see that they are kind of walking into this disaster, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You can voice your opinion. You can have this conversation. You could really just get in their face and yell at them and try to wake them up, but they're not going to see the light. What they're going to see is this double air. They're going to see somebody who's just kind of butting in where they don't belong, and somebody who is just trying to force their opinions down everyone's throat. So it's not going to really go well for you. And I don't think it's going to really make a difference to that earth sign person. I don't feel like they're going to change their course, you know? So this reading is not so much about this other person and their mistake, right? It's not about you just witnessing somebody else do something that you think is foolish. This is about really knowing when to get involved in someone else's life. This is kind of a reading about, you know, when is it appropriate to mind our own business and let somebody, you know, slip on that banana peel? Or when is it appropriate for us to get involved and avert disaster, you know? And also, what right do we have to assume that this is such a terrible situation for them, you know? Because the way we perceive it is not always, not even usually, the way other people perceive the same situation, especially those that are kind of directly involved in it. You know, so we have to kind of reevaluate what our own boundaries are, what our own kind of limitations of perception are even. And the next card is the Moon card. So this is the limitations of our perception. You know, this card I think summarizes everything that I just said. And this is an uncertainty about what is real, what is truth, what is the facts of the situation as I perceive it versus the facts of the situation as you perceive it, as this third party perceives it. There may be some overlap, but I think it's going to be a very different picture of reality. And this is the Moon energy, where perception is unreliable. Our own belief in what we are witnessing is inherently unreliable. So it's almost as if we are living in this dream state where we're uncertain what is real and what is just an illusion of our perception or something like that. But if everything is a dream, then what does it matter if we get involved or not? Does it take away the value or the importance or the implications of our actions? You know, these are things I think that are going to be entering your mind this week as you witness this situation. I think it's going to bring up a lot of philosophical, a lot of metaphysical, even a lot of ethical questions for you. And I think that it is possible for you to get some clarity on this situation and on this kind of philosophical question in general, but I don't feel like you've reached that moment yet. You know, the sun here is still beneath the horizon. It's starting to be pushed upward. The dawn is coming. But as of yet, we're still in this darkness. We're still unsure what is real, unsure what our response to this uncertainty should be. Right? So we're still kind of lost in this darkness. We're still kind of groping around and not seeing things very clearly. I said at the beginning that it's almost like you have a veil between how you feel about this and how you're expressing that, if you're expressing that, right? You're kind of concealing that. And living behind that veil, I think, is clouding your perception of reality as much as it is trying to separate your feelings from the situation, from the reality of the situation, right? It's rather confusing. I don't like getting into too much of the philosophical aspects of these readings, right? I think these are questions that may only be meaningful if you are the one asking them, you know? So I think as this situation develops, as this whole situation arises for you in your life, see what questions enter your mind. And I think the moon here is representing the questions that this brings up for you, okay? These are the unknowns, these are the variables, these are the fluctuations, the waxing and waning of your truth, of your certainty, of your perception. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense to me. I don't know. Hopefully it makes sense to you. If it is resonating with you, hit the like button, please. That really goes a long way for the algorithm to know that you are watching these videos, that you enjoy them, and that you want to see more of them. So definitely hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already, and leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing, how you're feeling. Let me know if this is a situation that is already starting to develop in your life, or if it's something you're kind of anticipating in the next few days, you know. The next card, Seven of Cups. Now, this Seven of Cups is very interesting because it, in some way, represents a lot of what this Moon card represented. It is the illusion of our perception. It is thinking we see things one way, thinking something is, in fact, this particular situation, object, whatever. But in reality, if we shift our eyes a little bit, you know, I think Castaneda talked about it, you know, letting your eyes just relax and go a little bit blurry, right? And things start to look different. Things start to appear as something else. And I don't think he meant that literally. I think it's by relaxing this impulse that we have, this, you know, kind of this psychic muscle that we have to force reality into focus, right? We're trying to see what things are, even in an abstract way, what this situation is. You know, I can see the objects, you know, on my desk, and that's one thing. But seeing the facts of a situation, it's not something concrete. I can't just hold it in my hand and examine it, you know. So we force reality into focus. And by relaxing that, by relaxing this tendency to force our will, to impose our will on reality, then maybe, just maybe, we can see things from a different perspective. You know, if we relax that psychic muscle, then we can allow the actual energy around us to reveal itself rather than us forcing it into a particular mold, you know? And that, I think, is what this Seven of Cups is representing, because if you look at it, it's like one of those holographic, you know, cards, you know, that they used to have, the plastic, like the Pokemon cards or something. You hold it one way, it looks like a really beautiful tree. You hold it the other way, and it's this. Okay? Which one's true? Which one's the real image? Which one is the fact? Which one is reality? Both? Neither? So I think that's kind of, the card's in the position of your fears and worries, right? So I think that this is something that's going to be a big question in your mind is, you know, not only should I do something here, should I take action, should I, you know, interfere? But the bigger question is this even really what's going on? You know, am I really assessing the situation accurately, appropriately, fairly? You know, if I shift a little bit, if I relax my psychic muscle a little bit, am I going to see things completely differently? You know, so that's almost the first question, is to assess the situation, and based on what you feel is the reality or is the truth, then you decide your action. But if you can't trust your perception of reality, then we're not even yet prepared to ask the question, what should we do? Does that make sense? I'm really not trying to make these too abstract or philosophical. I don't like going down these roads because I feel like we kind of lose sight of what is actually going on. But, you know, Scorpio, sometimes this is the way the readings go. You know, this is just the flow that we catch sometimes. So I feel like you're kind of stuck here. I feel like you're between a rock and a hard place with this situation. And I don't know exactly what the relationship is between these two, between the earth sign and maybe this fire sign person. But it feels to you like that fire sign person is really up to no good. Okay. And there we have the Hierophant. The Hierophant as the final card on the path of the Serpent. And I feel like the Hierophant, it's a strong, enduring earth sign, right? It's ruled by Taurus. usually represents some help. It usually represents someone who is looking to a higher authority, a higher power, even literally like a supervisor or something. Looking to someone else for guidance, for assistance, okay? Somebody older, somebody wiser, somebody who can maybe verify our perception of reality or tell us we're full of shit and this is not what we think it is, But is this an actual person in your life? Is this, maybe it's literally a Taurus person? But I think more than likely this is your own conscience, your own higher soul, your own connection to divinity that is presenting itself to you as a teacher, as an authority, as an older, wiser person that you can receive guidance from. So it's okay to ask somebody else. It's okay to ask our higher soul, our higher self, our spirit guides, our guardian angel, right? It's okay to ask an older, wiser family member. It's okay to get the opinion, to get some kind of outside verification of the way that you are interpreting these facts, okay? And I think that's what the Hierophant is signifying. Also, I feel like the Hierophant is signifying that you have to let this person make their own decisions. You can. The one thing that you can do for certain without having to go through all these kind of philosophical, hoops, is to be there for them no matter what happens. This is someone that you care about. We have this Ace of Cups. It's someone that you value. You want them to be happy. Okay? But if you have a difficulty assessing the situation, making a decision on what you should do, the one thing that you can be certain of is that you can be there for them. That you can assist them if they need assistance, if they ask for assistance. You could be there just as somebody solid in their life, That's the one thing that we can do, is just be there when they need us. And I think that's the other message of the Hierophant here. Okay. And I think that's the ultimate, expression of love in this case, is to be someone who is rock solid and enduring, like that Taurus energy, when they need us. And if this is really as terrible as you think it is, they're going to need you eventually. So for you to be there and to be strong and supportive and enduring, be a rock for them. I think that's going to be something that's tremendously valuable to them. But let's go to the mystery card. Let's see what this is all about. We had a interesting run with some of this earth energy, We have the result of action, which would be just making things worse. So we kind of had this tough love, leave them alone, focus on your own stuff. And then we have the be there for them if they fall or when they fall. So that's a nice flow of the earth energy. I wonder if this is going to be more earth energy, maybe a 10 of Pentacles, to show that, this was a valuable situation. This was a worthwhile experience, not only for them, but for you. Not only philosophically and abstractly, but in terms of, you being there for this person and for that bond to be strengthened. But we also had a nice flow with some of this water energy. Started out with the Queen of Cups. Kind of an uncertainty if we should act on how we're feeling about this. Our foundation, our real care and love for this person. Wanting the best for them. And almost feeling like that gives us a little bit of license to kind of interfere with things. But then we reach that moon. That's some kind of watery energy too, right? That's ebbing and flowing. There's uncertainty. There's this beginning of questioning how we're perceiving things, questioning the ethical or moral implications of acting on the original feeling. And we have that Seven of Cups too, which I think is both a blessing and a curse. It's We don't know which way of perceiving things. We don't know which point of view is actually the correct point of view, which is the actual truth. So I want to see maybe a resolution to this water energy more than the earth energy. I feel like the earth energy has been resolved in that Hierophant. I don't feel like this water energy, we started with water. I don't think the water energy has been resolved yet. I'd like to see some water energy here in this mystery card that will give us some sort of closure or resolution, or and somehow wrap up this issue that we mostly saw here on the path of the serpent with this uncertainty, right? What is truth, and which point of view is the correct one, right? How do we resolve that dilemma? Because I think that's preventing us from acting. We don't know how to feel now. We started with feeling a certain way and trying to kind of, push it down a little bit, right? Hide it. But now we ended up, we're not even sure how we feel. We're not even sure how we're perceiving the situation. I want some more water energy. I want some good water energy here. Okay. We have the Ace of Cups. I'm thinking maybe 2, maybe 3 of Cups here. Something close to the unity. Something that's not so far down in manifestation that it gets muddy and muddled and starts to look toxic like this, right? Something higher up the tree, closer to the unity. So a 2 or maybe a 3 of Cups. And there's the beautiful 3 of Cups. All right, this is exactly what we wanted. So this is showing that no matter what happens, it's kind of like the Hierophant, really. It's a lot of that kind of resolution that just says, if nothing is certain, if you don't know anything else, you at least know that you can be there for that person, right? You can be a rock, you can be solid for them. Now the 3 of Cups is saying that you may not know how you feel, you may not know what the reality is, what the correct point of view is, and you may not really understand now what's kind of going on inside of you. The one thing that you can be certain of is that this person needs your love, needs your support, needs your affection, needs you to be there for them and be nurturing and supportive, right? Different than the Hierophant, right? The Hierophant is that earth energy. It's being that solid rock that someone can depend on. This is being that really expressive, watery energy, right? To give love, to give affection, to give comfort and consolation if they need it, right? It's really the perfect expression. This is the potential for expression. This is you with all of this Ace of Cups water energy ready to go. This is you ready to spring into action and kind of shower this person with love and support if they need it, right? If this really does take a bad turn, they're going to need you to be cheerful, to give them affection, to, take them out to eat or something and to kind of get their mind off of things, or just to be there and listen, be supportive, be affectionate, be nurturing. So this is that water energy stored up, ready to go. If this person needs you, you've got it. You've got it ready to go. This is the water energy that's not yet expressed, right? It's not yet expressed, but it's ready. It's ready. So I think this is a pretty fine confirmation card for us today. Now, Scorpio, I want to thank you for being here and for letting me read for you this week. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Be sure you hit the bell notification. I've been hearing a lot of complaints about people not getting the notification. So just make sure that you've got that bell lit up on your notifications there. We're going to do an extended too. If you want to stick around, you can click on the link that's right up there and you can have access to all of the extended readings. Okay. This was your weekly reading, April 9th through April 15th on Dove and Serpent Tarot.